Hello, we're back once again. We've got a real quick small signature to make, and it's going to be for page 1 of our album. So getting into here, let's kind of open this up just a little bit, and then I'll show you what I've got going. So this is what I selected to use. And again, it's off the 12 by 12, so the other half is being used on one of the other pages. And it has these on the back. So this is measuring for the pages. This is measuring at 5 1/4 inches across by 7 7/8. So I'm going to start off with a pocket on this page. And I do need to put some tape on this, silly girl. I'll give you the measurements here in 2 shakes. I haven't forgotten. Okay, so this is going to measure at 2 and it's right in between 2 1/8 and 2 1/4. And the reason it is for silly me, I was trying to frame this in, but then I decided to put this here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this down to 2 1/8. I don't want to take it down much more because then this will hang over. So let's just trim this down to 2 1/8. And then I'm going to trim this down just a smidgen. I have a love-hate relationship with this paper trimmer. And I think it's more operator error than anything. So that's going to sit here. And then I'm going to take this chipboard piece and put it there. And then I'm going to do the bling. But I'm going to have to put the bling on first before I can put this down. So let's go ahead and let's get this down onto our piece. Starting in the corner and then just walk it straight up that straight line. Oh, crying out loud, Charlie. I was not even down here at the bottom, so I noticed I was over up there. For Pete's sake. So we get to perform a little bit of surgery here. Make sure it's right on the very edge. And I am still missing. What in the world is my problem here? Okay, let's try this again. I am going to firmly hold this in place right down here, and I'm going to walk it up. There, goodness sakes. Now I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to glue it in place. But before I do, then I'm going to run some glue. And the reason I'm not using tape with this is because you could see the tape in between the bling pieces. So when the glue dries, it's going to dry clear and we won't have that problem. And now, and you can see I put a little bit of bling up here. And to make sure that's well glued so that it doesn't pop out. Okay, now all that sets up. Over here on this side, we're going to create a couple of small photo opportunities. So this is measuring at 3 inches across by 3 1/4 in its height. And you're going to do a 1/2 inch score. And then you're going to come in here and just put it in place. We're going to do 2 of them. So I want them somewhat balanced. So I'm going to put this one here, and you're going to come right up next to that score line. And then this is the card that I cut out to put here, and then I'm using this side for back here, but these are going to pop up a little bit, so I am going to come in here with a couple of small magnets to make sure that these stay down. So now I want a negative, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. So I want to put this one right here. Turn it over, and it's going to find its mate. So I'm going to take this backing off. Oh, interesting. It was, this has got magnet in it, so that magnet fell against this and not where it was supposed to be, and I need to tape it because the tape is on this side. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get this glued in. And then we're going to put in this, I'm using the darker side on this one. Okay. And then this one I'm using Howlett's Wing. And then I'm using this side, the lighter side of that same paper for the reverse. So this one here, it's going to be a different measurement. Oh, this one's coming in at 2 7/8 across by 3 inches. 1/2 inch score, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come in here, and we're going to place it on just up next to that score line. Now, 2 more magnets because I like things nice and tight. turn that over. And I'm not going to worry about taking the tape off because I've got to tape this down anyway. Okay, so this is going to go on the front. And then this is going to go on the back. Now, on the right side, we're going to have a flap. And it is going to measure in at 5 inches across by 7 7/8. And then you're going to come in on this one and you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch, and you're going to score it at 5/8 of an inch. Now it needs to wrap over these two, so we're going to put this on here, and it looks like we're going to end up putting this about dead center of the gusset that we've got here. So it's going to come in right in between the 5/8 and the 1/2 inch score line, so that it wraps around what we've just built. And it will sit on here just like this. And then over here, you're going to cut a strip that's going to be 4 inches by 1 1/4 inches, and you're going to center it in here. I did. So just center as best as you can. I'm not really good at that part. There we go. All right. Now we're going to come back in here. So on the front of this, and I'm trying, because I don't have a lot of paper, I'm trying to utilize my trims, my cuts. So I cut this for the front, and then when you turn this over, I'm going to have this, this for this side. Now I'm coming up short, so I'm going to create a 1 inch pocket. So this is 1 inch by 7 7/8. And I need to make sure that this is the right length. It's just a tiny hair, about pencil big, lead pencil big. I'm just going to trim it off. And then I'm going to use some real skinny tape, if I can find what I did with it. It's not much left to that roll. I guess I'm going to need to open up a new packet. So hold on. 2 shakes. I'm going to find it here as soon as I'm done. And okay. So we want to be able to maximize this tuck as much as we can. So to do that, we're going to use 1/8 of an inch tape. kind of misplacing things here. All right, let's put this down. Then we're going to just sneak up to that 5/8 inch score line. And then I'm going to put this on right here in the corner and walk it up, and it should be just fine. And then for contrast, I'm using a real thin piece of the paper that has the crows on it, where I am inking the edge. And then this is going to come in right here. And I cut this too long, so bear with me. I'm just going to come in here and trim it. And there we go. And then I got to get my bling in here. I'll take these last 3 off and then try and balance it in between there. And I'm going to make sure that I don't have glue there. Now, in your chipboard pieces, if you're playing with them, is this little tiny item. And I put a black gem there at the top where you would typically thread something through. And I'm just going to put this right there. That's our inside. Now we're going to close this, and then I'm going to glue this in on the top. Not right yet. Ah, what a silly girl. I don't want to take this apart because it's, but I think I'm okay. I've just got to grab, I had another magnet, but I'm not sure what I did with it. So I take out 2 at a time. Oh, where's my bag? I'll find it. It seems to me it's in here. Nope, I'm not feeling it. Okay, so I want this to land here. And now I will take some tape and tape this on. And then I want to be very careful about this because this was trimmed out in a very special way, and I've got to make sure it all stays together here. I bet I'm going to still find that magnet in here. I guess not. Okay, these 2 I'm going to glue together. I'll show you what I cut here in just a second. Says love potion. So I specifically cut this out. And then this should match up. So I am going to put this here. something's not working right because this needs to be straight. And then I'm going to what not to do. I'm starting to get that goobery and I don't want to. I really hope I don't regret gluing this. Okay, I wanted the spider. I trimmed out some of my scraps for specific features. Here's has a spider, and I'm going to sneak this under here. And that's going to come over, and then this was just a tan piece. And then this was going to come on here like this. And then there is, I want it to be, the numbers to be the correct way. So there's 12. Yeah, that's a good burnish here. All right. So simple and easy. Here's all your goodies here on the inside. And then we have a nice tuck here. Close this, and there you have it. All right, let's get some tape, put it on the back side, and we can get this in our album. This is going to sit in here like this. First one went down really easy. I'm hoping this one goes down. I'm not used to taking all this tape off. I can't see it, so hold on here just a second. I need to see. Black on black is really hard. Look at that. Wonderful. Okay, let's get this burnished in here. There you go. All right. We'll be back. We'll be working on this, and this is the sheet that I'm going to be playing with. I'm just going to flip one side over. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.